Myself. Through the speakers. Good morning, everyone. My name is Linda Lloyd, and I'm the presiding officer assigned by the board today to conduct this portion of the Category 4 license renewal hearing for Stadium Casino Westmoreland RE LLC, doing business as Live Pittsburgh. Before we begin, if we could all turn off or to vibrate our cell phones and other devices, that doesn't interrupt our speakers. I would like to remind everyone that this proceeding is being recorded today by our court reporter, who's sitting down here on the right, to my right, and as well as being live streamed to the board's website. Eventually, the video of the hearing will also be uploaded and available on the board's website for anyone to view time and time again at their leisure. So I call the hearing to order. The date is Wednesday, June 11, 2025. The time is 10:29, and the location is the Township of Hempfield Municipal Building and the Greensburg Hempfield Business Park in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Currently, the Pennsylvania Racehorse Development and Gaming Act, as amended, requires at Section 1326 that an operator's license be subject to renewal by the board every 5 years. And this license renewal hearing is convened by the board pursuant to the mandate currently found in Section 1205B of the Gaming Act that requires, as part of this renewal process, that a public input hearing be held in the municipality where the licensed facility is located. Public hearing was advertised on the board's website, announced by the board chair at public board meetings, and advertised in the local newspaper. And today we have 3 members of the board present. To my immediate right is our chair, Denise Smiler, and to my left are Commissioners Frank Dermody and George Dunbar. Hearing will begin with a presentation by Live Pittsburgh, and after that presentation, board's Office of Enforcement Counsel and board members will have an opportunity to ask questions of Live Pittsburgh. And after that has concluded, the Office of Enforcement Counsel will make a short presentation, and again, the board members and counsel for Live Pittsburgh will have an opportunity to ask witnesses, OEC witnesses, any questions. At this time, I have not received any registrations for public speakers. Is there anyone in the room today that thought they registered? Would you raise your hand? Okay, I will ask again at the end just in case, but at this point we won't have any public speakers at the end of the hearing. So following the close of the presentation, we'll have short closing comments from each party, and that will be the end of the hearing. So right now, let's begin by having anyone from Live Pittsburgh that might speak today or will speak today, and any Office of Enforcement Counsel witnesses that are in the room right now that will be giving testimony. If you can please stand, raise your right hand, and be sworn by a court reporter.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
And I believe the court reporter has the spellings for all of the board members and Live Pittsburgh's witnesses. So if you could just state your name before you start to speak so she can know who you are. I'm not sure if she has spellings for our Office of Enforcement Counsel people or witnesses, but I'll ask you to spell your name for her later. So I will turn it over then to Live Pittsburgh.
Yeah, just briefly, I'm Tom Deal, Vice President of Legal for Stadium Casino Westmoreland RE, which we commonly refer to here in this proceeding as Live Casino Pittsburgh. And as far as our presentation is concerned, we've submitted in advance. We're going to have Joe Boheimer, our COO, provide a brief overview of the Cordish properties. And then the majority of the facility-specific matters are being handled by Sean Sullivan, our general manager. And with that, I turn it over to Joe.
All right, can we start the presentation? Good morning. Thank you on behalf of the Cordish family and all of our team members throughout the Commonwealth. We're pleased to be here and looking forward to the dialogue. Do you want me to introduce everyone?
No, let's do
here?
this.
And I'm Joe Billheimer, Billhimer. Put in parentheses Joe B, because everyone will call me Bill later on today.
That's right.
Go ahead and start rolling. So I just want to give you a little bit of an overview of Cordish Companies and who we are. And this will make sense when I go through some of the properties that we operate. But we as a company bring in over 55 million visitors annually through our properties across the country. It's a pretty amazing number when you think about 25 different live districts that we operate, as well as over 100 food and beverage and retail operations, as well as other verticals that I'll go through. The Cordish family is that. It's a family. On the screen, you'll see there Blake Cordish, Reed Cordish, David Cordish, and John Cordish, and as well as David Cordish. So they're very involved in our business. Reed operates all of our F&B and districts across the country. John does all of the finance for the company, and Blake does a lot of the development work and creativity. And when you look at our Cat 4 property, it has their fingerprints all over it. This is pretty daunting slide if you look at it. And there was a time about a year ago that we had to update this every month because we had new properties opening up across the country. But it just gives you a sense that our Live Pittsburgh is part of a much, much bigger family and a very vibrant business with a lot of different verticals in it. So this will show the different avenues that we in Cordish are involved in, from commercial real estate, co-working spaces, Spark, if you've ever heard of that, is one of our developments. Our entertainment districts, Texas Live, Ballpark Village, and St. Louis is very well known. Our gaming I'll get to, but if you look at that bottom left picture, the hotel, we also have a live district there in Arlington, Texas, adjacent to Texas Stadium. They call it Jerry World, but that's not a rendering. That's an actual picture from the live hotel that we actually built. We have residential, we have towers all over Kansas City. I think we're on our 5th tower there for residential. Obviously restaurants and our sports anchor districts that I just mentioned. From a gaming perspective, Maryland Live was the first after some other development that the Cordish family did for Hard Rocks in Florida. Our Philly Live and our Pittsburgh Live were developed during COVID. I know, in the renewal process, probably everyone's had to tell you about dealing with COVID. We actually built these properties and opened these properties right in the teeth of COVID. We also have Virginia Live that is actually underway now. We're in process of developing it. We expect to open that in a temporary form sometime in November. And we have a small casino in Salem that we haven't even represented up there that we're working on now that will actually open in July. So what happened in the Commonwealth for us was really the expansion of the gaming division for Cordish. We're going to continue to grow. I'm sure you'll hear from Sean on a lot of things that we're thinking about too for Westmoreland, and we're very excited and very pleased to be in the Commonwealth. Thank you.
My turn.
Sure.
All right. So, is it okay if I stand, or is that wrong? I don't have to.
You're in the microphone.
It's,
All right,
it's the microphone problem that
It
we
looks
have.
like it's a problem. I will sit.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So I backed up a little bit because I just wanted to quickly review who's here on behalf of the property. We have Joe, who I report to, COO. He's out there kicking tires. If we met next week, we'd probably have 3 more properties. So, he's out there looking for deals, and we're happy about that. Tom Deal is, as introduced, myself, And in the back, we have Brent Colston back there, Brian Blows, Michelle, Matt. This is the A team, Will Hayes. And then we have our three witnesses you'll hear from shortly. Doug Weimer with Hempfield Township, Tom Gerber, the mall GM for both our mall and the Monroeville Mall. And then Misty, who we're so happy to have and is an all-star at the property. So just real quick, not here to necessarily speak, but absolutely instrumental in everything we do from a success perspective. And we're doing pretty good. Always challenges, always something new, but we're dealing with it. So I tried to break this up because if you got your booklet, right, it's 68 pages or something. We couldn't make it until tomorrow afternoon. But I broke it up into maybe what I thought was the most colorful conversations. And then there's a lot of things that I'm sure that you guys are well understanding, compliance and financial, and then, you know, good old-fashioned slot machines and entertainment. So in the spirit of trying to move fast, if I get through these and you want me to keep going, happy to do so. But I also want to be respectful of your time and energy and not drag it out too long, which I'm known for. Everyone will tell you. Let me see if I can figure this out. So Joe went through these wonderful slides, and I have to tell you, I've been doing this 45 years. This is the best company by far. Cordish is the most respectful, team-oriented company I've ever worked for. I mean, it's amazing how much they care about us, from the janitor to the top of the janitor heap. I mean, it's just amazing. And I say that, you know, after working for many, of which a lot of you know, but what a great organization. So just real quick, we'll look at the campus. So we're over at the mall, and we're happy to be there. The live casino is the darker shaded roof there. That used to be an old Bon-Ton department store. And if you looked at that before they went after it, you'd say there's no way. There's no way there can be a casino here. It doesn't work out. But they made it magically appear, and not just appear, fantastically appear. I mean, some of you saw and are familiar with it, the video wall and the upstairs restaurant and everything else. Dick's Sporting House took over right here where Sears was. They took the top floor. So they're going to have I guess they call it House of Sports, which has got the rock walls and the soccer fields and all the stuff with it, which is a great addition to the campus. So we're happy when we can see success coming there. JCPenney's does wonderful. Macy's does wonderful. And then part of our deal is we get a parking garage that's connected by a bridge going to our non-gaming second floor, and then all this parking around it. You'll hear me talk about outdoor events. They basically take place out here if you're leaving the casino, to the right, where our team members generally park. But it's nice to be part of a campus and have all that critical mass that comes to visit us. And I think we've been very beneficial for the mall, which Tom will tell you about. Real quick overview. We did open in COVID, and then we got told to close for 30 days, which was perfectly understandable. It was a topsy-turvy world. We went into the COVID cleanliness, sanitation, and everything else, and we got through it. Never saw so much Plex. I think we bought $300,000 worth of plexiglass, so it was between every single machine, every single table game spot. It was pretty amazing. I would have never imagined that could happen, but we leased the property from CBL Properties, the Westmoreland Mall. We have 550 family-sustaining jobs. We have a 100,000 square foot facility, 750 machines, the max, 40 table games, the max, a sports book. We have Sports and Social Steel City, our big restaurant up top with family-friendly arcade games, bowling, and other good things. And we have the PBR, which is a professional bull riders brand where they ride bulls up there, and lots of line dancing and live music and excitement on the weekends, Friday and Saturday. We have Guy Fieri's downstairs, which is right when you walk in the door to the right. And then we have a 7,000 square foot multi-purpose area called the Venue Live. Smaller things, concerts with maybe 500 people, weddings. We do bingo, as we saw last night, some of us. But a really nice multi-use area. And then we get about 1,000,001 visitors annually. Weekends go up to 5,000, give or take. I think yesterday was just under 2,000. So, but at the end of the day, we'll have over 1 million people come to the property. So pretty good stuff. 5 years in a row, and they're voting to still come back. So that's good news. This is this is the first one. So right here is the main entrance, what we call the porte cochere. and you come in the front entrance. About 85% of our visitors come in that door. The mall back here is responsible for about 15% of the visitors. That goes up during the holidays, right? Christmas, people shopping, they come in, they go to the restaurant and so on. But in general, it's 85 to 15. And then you can see here in the middle, we have a crossover of table games, and then 4 slot machine quadrants. We have a high limit slots over here, a poker room back here in the red, a high limit table game we just launched in October, November, along with the poker room. And then we have this fabulous 40-foot video wall that's, you can watch games and sports and Kentucky Derby and everything from both the lower level of the floor and the top. And then back here is all of our office areas, our locker room, our uniforms room, our team member dining room, and everything else that is in support of the property. And then the second floor, you go up the stairs from the first floor here, or you can go up the stairs in the back here, or there's an elevator here, but you can get up to the second floor, and it's primarily the venue, as I mentioned, which goes to the parking garage, which is great because some people don't want to go through a casino, don't want to mess with it, come to the wedding, enjoy themselves, go back out. We're perfectly fine with that. So this is our venue. The PBR nightclub is right here. PBR Cowboy Bar is really what it's called. And then this whole section here is primarily sports and social. A big restaurant, wonderful tables overlooking the big screens, a fan cave, we kind of branded it back here for VIP parties, bowling, arcade games, and an area up here we call social club, which is also a breakout area for anniversaries and parties. This is for the big stuff, this is for the smaller stuff. And let's see, next we have, so part of, as I've mentioned to a lot of people, we don't have a big room to have Kevin Hart, like our sister properties. We're very jealous about that. Dave Chappelle, we can't afford those guys, so we get Dave Chewbacca. But what we do try to do is be big outdoors, because during the summer and the spring, we're a little bit of a gamble because of weather, but we go outdoors and we are able to put together mega events. And the purpose of those, and I remember Kevin when I first met him, part of the idea is we want people to come from Ohio and West Virginia to our state and spend their gambling dollars here. We'll be the recipient of those things. This is what this stuff does. So one of our marquee events was a Bulls and Barrels rodeo, which was absolutely insane. I'm not sure why we did it, because it was very scary. These bulls were like Volkswagens bucking people off, and it was insane. But we set up a rodeo in the parking lot. We had to rent the dirt, 42 giant trucks of dirt. It rained 2 days before, so we had to till the dirt for 48 hours to get it dry. If I told you the stories, you'd say, what in the world were you guys thinking? Which I still think every day. We have car crews. We're up to our 4th annual car cruise. We get about 750 cars. We bring food trucks. We have live music. It's just a big giant car cruise, and lots of collector vehicles. And really these things are multi-purpose. As I said, draw people from out of state or out of our immediate jurisdiction, but also family friendly. We take great pride in what the owners call live in the community. We're committed to lifting the community, not let Pittsburgh have everything. We want to have our own stuff going on. But this car cruise has been a great success, and our 4th one is coming up August 3rd. We've done things like the Wing Festival, where we have big giant chicken wing cook-offs, set up everything out there, a beer garden, craft vendors. We usually get about 70 craft vendors at these events as well. And those are all local people who are coming here and selling their wares, whether it's candles or cookies or whatever they may be selling. And we're really happy because it's part of the entertainment equation, if you will. We did a block party in blue on the left. We had fireworks, a carnival. We did a Summerfest craft beer and wine festival, music festival. This is kind of that craft fair. All those events that I tell you have this appendage to it, if you will, the craft fair area, which is very exciting. And as you can see here, very family centric. This year, we're having a mega fight weekend. It's called Fight Fest Weekend. We're having MMA on a Friday night and boxing on a Saturday night. That's July 11th and 12th. That'll be followed by the car show, and then we'll end up with an Italian food festival in September. So we keep those things going every summer. back to live in the community. And working for a company that wants you to go out there and be involved in the community is a fantastic perk for us, because we care about the people, our neighbors, and they care about it too. So one thing we do is we do monthly job fairs. We open up our ballroom upstairs to 60 to 65 employers, and they show up and they're hiring. One of the things I first heard when I came here is people are leaving Westmore or Hempfield. They're going out of the state to find jobs. So we assemble all the job seekers, if you will, through CareerLink, through ourselves, through the Westmoreland County Commissioners, and through primarily some of our legislators, Kim Ward and Eric Nelson and so on, who've been instrumental. But every month we have a job fair. And it's very important to be dependable. So when people are in between jobs, they know they might only need to wait a week, farthest 4 weeks, but there's a place to come and look for a job. We don't charge the vendors anything, and it's really been beneficial for everybody. We celebrate our local share money. You might recognize some of these people in here, but we generate a lot of proceeds for small municipalities. I think the last one we had was 78 municipalities, as small as a truck, to the whole air conditioning for the Palace Theater, which is a big institution in the
Mr.
area.
Sullivan, just for the record, that picture of
George?
Commissioner Dunbar, it was taken while he was a representative, correct? Not
That's right.
before
He was a
commissioner.
representative and one of our favorites. We love George.
Thank you, Sean.
George is always, I'm not supposed to ad hoc, am I? But George has always been he understands the business, and from day one, he's just been, it hasn't been favoritism, he knows the business. It's been extremely helpful, like all of you do, but George is there. Anyway, but we can't talk to him anymore as a legislator. Just a couple of highlights. Again, live in the community, and there's a lot about minority and women-owned businesses. So when you look at this, and by the way, we're all on the same team here. The mall takes our lease monies. They've gotten $5 million so far since we've opened, and that's helped them because they were struggling for a little while. Our labor, we farm out some of the labor. Jana King, minority-owned business, which is a fabulous organization that cleans our property to where we get tremendous accolades from our guests. And then we have a separate security team that we hire for the PBR, an area where liquid courage sometimes comes into play, to try to make sure that our people aren't exposed to any hostile situations. And these guys are well trained, and generally a lot of them are ex-military and so on. But we spent $6 million with them, in addition to having state police on property on the weekends. We believe safety, cleanliness are critical, and we put our money where our mouth is, as exhibited here. We also do bingo. Well, can't say it that way. We support bingo. Bingo is something, we found a lot of charities saying, can you help us? We don't need a lot of money, we need this, that, the other. We hooked up with a bingo company. They run it, they work with the charities, we're hands off, but they use our space, right? They use our room every Monday. And we just had a celebration the other day, May 22nd, of $430,000 awarded to nonprofits through this bingo situation. Bingo's not legal for us to operate, so we don't, but this group called Mega Money Bingo does it. And we'll see 300 people up there on a Monday night, which is crazy. And then we're just handing out checks. This is Carlotta. I was on her board, the Westmoreland Diversity Coalition. She got $26,000. To her, that's a 2-year budget, maybe 3, right? I mean, some of these people don't have a lot of money, and we're happy and proud to be supporting their effort. And then we do lots of checks through what we call our Tito. Every casino does it. You've probably heard about it. But when people cash out, sometimes they'll have 50 cents on the ticket, $3 on the ticket, $5 on the ticket. They'll put it in a plexiglass box. We total all that. We give it to various designated nonprofits. So you can see here, I guess that's $9,000 given to the Mount Pleasant EMTs, I imagine. So lots of this going on. We've given out $290,000 to that. We also do community lecture series, again, giving back to the community. So this one shows Rocky Blyer. Rocky is a tremendous human being, has a huge, colorful story from Vietnam to the Steelers Great friend, great guy. And he comes out and he goes over the top. He not only does this lecture series, he signed a book and met with every veteran that was at the event and really personally shook their hands and gave them the book, as I mentioned. So we associate ourselves with people that we're proud of, and Rocky's surely one of those. The company, Corporation Cordish, has been behind the National Medal of Honor Museum, and they guaranteed that they would do $1 million, and they asked us properties to do them $1 million as well. So we've been working with them. This is going on in Arlington, and it's a fantastic project, the Medal of Honor Museum. It's not just a museum, it's an educational opportunity for youths and young folks and so on. So we're proud to be a part of that, and we've donated actually quite a bit of money. This was the Make It Matter. I mentioned Carlotta. We also do seminars for these folks. She said she wanted to have a seminar, a conference with some of the nationally known speakers, Make It Matter. And so this was a 2-day event, and it was really well received, and a commitment, if you will, to supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion. We do these things where we saddle up and go out to the food bank. We go throughout the area, whoever needs help. We bring water to the fire departments. Toys for Tots, right? Union Mission needed bedding. We had some leftover bedding from a promotion. So we took pillow sheets and pillowcases out there and gave it to the folks that needed it the most. Just finished, half these people behind me, maybe all of them, planting flags at the local cemetery for Memorial Day, and it's our second year doing that. So they go up and down the rows putting flags in. Another proud moment for the company. And now, so that's kind of our live in the community things that I'm most proud of and really encouraged to do. And I will mention that each director is expected to be on at least 2 boards. So everybody back here is on 2 different boards. I was on the Westmoreland Diversity Coalition, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Food Bank. Somehow I just got wrestled onto USO from Carmen, which I didn't know about until yesterday. But long story short, we devote time and energy to those boards and help them with our resources, our property, and they can tell you who they're a part of, each one of them, but we won't ask them right now. So this is, Moselle's not here, but she's very familiar that everybody has their diversity plan. Everybody's committed to equal opportunity. Everybody's committed to a workplace that is welcoming to minority men and women. You need to match up to your county, and Westmoreland isn't exactly a really diverse county like maybe Allegheny County, but we exceed our percentages if you compare it to the county, which is good. And we're always looking for it. And I think about this a lot. I played sports and I think about football. It didn't matter who you were, what you were you good? Could you do the job, right? And football teams, baseball teams, they're all diverse, right? That's how we look at it. If you can bring us a different perspective, if you can bring us the skills we need to be successful for all of this partnership, then better. So we take no issue with this. We watch what's happening every day, and we don't care. We're going to keep doing it. Gender distribution, again, you probably looked at this, but pretty even, a little bit more male than female in this particular case. Executive management, mostly men, although we constantly promote from within, and we've been promoting more and more female every day, not because we're trying to meet a quota, but because they're good. We just replaced our marketing director with a female, and she's fantastic. She couldn't make it here today, but she's fantastic. So these are just some of those. And somebody asked a question, I think earlier, silent gen. I didn't even know what it was, but we have one, a silent gen person, which is, I guess, the older end of the spectrum here. I never even heard of that. A lot of detail here. It's in your booklet, but it shows you the breakout by position, by ethnicity, if you will. Again, we exceed the marketplace, which is just one measurement, not good enough. We got to keep doing more, and not because it's a requirement, because there's nothing better. I mean, bringing in people that look at things differently than you. Compensation, we're in good shape here. I mean, listen, most of our positions are gratuity positions. I was looking 2 days ago, our slot folks were making $67 an hour on top of their base pay through gratuities. I mean, that's a $90,000 job, right? Don't tell them I told you that, but they pay taxes. But all of our positions are very lucrative, and a lot of them are well compensated when you put into their tax gratuities. And then, of course, a very, I think, worthy benefits program as well. But our salaries and wages for 20 to 24 were $62 million. The benefits on top of that was another $30 million. So you're at $91 million for that period of time. And what we do is we kind of keep an eye on what's going on in Westmoreland, what's going on in Lyme. But remember, these numbers don't have gratuities in it. They have what's documented through payroll, if you will. So we even outpaced the area. And a lot of Westmoreland is blue collar, but a lot is also white collar. So, you have a mix in there getting about 42, and we're at 44. And then we have 390 full-time, 163 part-time. A lot of kids, a lot of them don't want to work the whole week, so they work weekends when we need them, which is fantastic. And then on average, out of the 553, the full-time equipment, if you take the hours worked by the folks, it's 405 people on average. But we do have 553 paychecks that we issue each 2 weeks. We believe in engagement with the team members. If they're engaged, they believe you trust them, they like you, you like them, the world's much better. Guest services is much better and well served, right? So we have the Breakaway Cafe, which is our team member dining room. We go on leadership retreats. This is just a picture of going to Seneca. I think in a week or so we're going to, I don't know how you go from from Seneca to Cleveland, but we're going to Cleveland, Michelle. So we're going to Cleveland, I guess the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We have team member meetings all the time. Actually, in 2 weeks we have another series. We support our sisters, and we've lent a lot of people, given a lot of our senior team and team members to Bossier and Virginia and other places. We have drawings for our team members. We have spirit calendars where they can wear Steelers and hockey. We have ice cream socials. We have mobile dental that comes all the time, sets up shop. And then we have a really fantastic program called Live Rewards, where I'm given a purse of money and I can identify anybody I want and send them a thank you, a shout out, we call it. And it's a healthy amount of money, and I search for people to send and say, we saw you, we see you're doing a great job. Here's 25 bucks, here's 50 bucks. I mean, it's really a fun program, and it's all automated. We just launched it recently, and I couldn't be more pleased with it. And each person here has that same kind of a bucket of money. We do our own dealer school. We've done it from day one. It's over in the mall. It's additional lease payment to the mall. We took over an old area and converted it to a dealer school. We have dealer schools approximately every 6 weeks. We're never short of dealers. As I mentioned to some, we have 550 people, give or take. We have maybe 20 openings at max at any given time. It's really a pretty healthy environment. And the ones that are openings are the hardest to fill, no matter where you are, Vegas, anywhere. Cooks and dishwashers, and to a degree security. So that's always a challenge. But again, challenge 20 out of 550. These are just top line aware things we do. Competitive benefits, we believe we have a great program. Bonus program for executives as well as team members. We just sent out an email the other day of all the people that got service awards, and it was a healthy amount of money. And my email hasn't stopped with thank you from the team members. I got 50, I got 300, I got 200. So we look for ways to recognize and reward people for good jobs. We have PTO, which is a standard old school, but we also have FTO. So the executives have FTO, free time off. They can go off anytime they want. They can take 6 weeks if they can afford to do it, and the job isn't ill-affected, right? They don't have to register for it. They signed up that they took it, but they didn't earn it. It's just free time. Is that what's called free, right? Yeah. It's free time that they can use it at their convenience, whatever it may be. I think that goes down to managers. Yeah, so it's 130 people that are getting that. The PTO is for the hourly folks primarily, but it's a great program to attract good talent and retain them. 401k, as I mentioned, the Breakaway Cafe, and then tuition reimbursement. If they get ABC's grades, they qualify. If it's an accredited institution, they qualify. And if it's something related to their job, then they can get their tuition paid. So that's nice. And then we have a whole commitment, I think I'm almost done with the first section, about training and development. So we train. We train on anti-money laundering, we train on responsible gaming, ramp training, CPR, active shooter, all these things. And thank goodness we do, because everybody's got their head on a swivel looking for minors, number one, inside the building and outside, by the way. And then number two, responsible serving. We don't want to serve anybody who's showing any signs of inebriated. It's not the right thing to do versus the 80s. So we absolutely are on the hunt to make sure that everybody in there is having a entertainment-based experience. And then we have leadership and communications and other good things. So training is the backbone of everything we do. I think this was my halfway point. I can jump into other things. Another 20, 30 minutes, it's up to y'all. Keep going?
Yes.
Okay, so this is compliance, and compliance is critical for us, obviously. You have to be a safe environment. You have to be compliant with our regulators. We love Colin and Brandon back here and Kevin and everybody. We couldn't agree more with the need to protect the brand of Pennsylvania gaming. If we lose that, the confidence of people won't come here. They'll go to Ohio gaming. They'll go to West Virginia gaming. They'll go to every neighboring state there is. Kevin told me really early on that part of his rigidness on some things, not really rigidness, but his advice is, we all need to worry about the brand together. Because if we lose the brand, they don't trust Pennsylvania gaming because there's cheats in the newspaper every day. Believe me, it comes trickling down to our casino. So we work together. But we have to have a minimum staffing. We have to staff every door. We're always on the roam looking for things. We're in pretty good shape. We don't got a lot of bad news going on here at Westmoreland or Hempfield. Very documented, as I mentioned to a couple of you. We use the latest, greatest system, Veridocs, for checking IDs. There is a difference between systems. We train rigorously, repeatedly, so that everybody knows what they're doing. We market throughout the building, on our internet, everywhere you go. We want to make sure you're seeing the signs. Every entrance is protected to keep minors off. Occasionally things slip, and we pay the fiddler when we do. Some of them are pretty tricky, but we don't have a bad history at all. State police talk about that in a minute. Notices everywhere you look, you can't avoid it. We don't let drinks leave even the restaurants, because once they do, we can lose track of them, and if they go out the building, we're in trouble. So we always have an eye to the detail of drinking responsibly and drinking in the building. Codes of conduct, lots of things that you see with every property. This is just a quick snapshot of our record. So from 22 to 25, $46,000. So the first year, actually second, I guess, the first couple of years are always challenging. People are testing you, and things are, everyone's from a different jurisdiction usually. So we hit the high point of $35,000 in related fines. Then we dropped it down to a third of that, $11,000. Didn't have any last year, and so far, knock on wood, none this year. So we take this as a serious challenge and do not want to be meeting with you guys in Harrisburg. As much as we love to see you, we don't want to be called out. We have the standard slot machines. 750 of them. We pay handsomely in jackpots. We paid out $75 million last year. 31,000 jackpots. So there's a lot of money going through the machines, a lot of it being given back. and a lot of winners, you know, I mean, but if you're in the casino for that, you might not want to be there. You're in there for the entertainment, right? And if you're lucky, you get a jackpot, right? I mean, we're in the entertainment business, mostly. Table games, we have all the traditional table games, 40 of them, poker, blackjack, craps, roulette, baccarat, a lot of carnival games, crisscross, and there's so many of them, it's crazy nowadays. We put in a new high limit area, we have table gun tournaments, but this area is actually a nice little gem that we added in November. You saw last night, some of you, that this table's been replaced with a baccarat table. But this is a great experience that we've added to the puzzle, and hopefully we can continue to do that every year. Our poker room, a new poker room we brought down from upstairs. We did that in October. Great experience. A different world. When locals play against locals, it's not quite the same as a tourist coming to town and steps into the trap. These guys are they all know each other, and it's a friendly bunch of games. We have FanDuel Sports. Our sports book is over to the side down here in front of the big TV right here. And then you get to watch all the shenanigans going on, from Kentucky Derby to boxing to Steelers games and everything in between. That's a real nice marketing differentiator. The non-gaming, we'll touch on that quick. We have our sports and social. It's a family-friendly place. We do put live music up there, DJ music. It's pretty much a sports bar. These shakes are amazing. They sell like hotcakes, which is hard to believe. Have all these arcade games, bowling. A very fun place on the second floor. And again, looks out over the casino video wall. And then we have Guys, as we mentioned. Guys is well known. It was really helpful when we opened. I mean, a marquee name to the property commanded attention. It's been a good relationship. It's slowing down a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. You always got to keep things fresh. People in a local market, you know, don't want the same thing every day, every year. PBR Cowboy Bar. I mentioned the Buckle Bunnies. There's a couple of the Buckle Bunny pictures. They're crazy. They get up here and dance on the bowl, and we can barely stand on it. Line dancing all the time, some rope trickers and so on. It's a great little place in Greensburg, Westmoreland County that you don't find. You usually see this in a big city. We've got all kinds of fun going on here. This is the venue. We have, it was funny, last night we went in there and the poker tables were in there, and they're the cheap tables. These are the good tables. The poker table, I mean, not poker, bingo. Bingo doesn't get the good tables. They can't get their robbers. They hit everything but the paper. So we don't give them these good ones. But for weddings and for everything else, we do give them the good tables. Meetings, weddings, corporate retreats, celebrations. Holiday season's crazy with Christmas parties. Really a good local venue for those. Just looking at 30,000 feet on revenues and taxes, you can see 104 million here, up to 112, 116, 117. It's growth in gaming, but it slowed a little bit, but you know, all in $450 million for the little engine that could. And then this is how it shakes out on taxes, if you will. We're basically at the 50% across the board. If we had a greater contribution through table games, that would lower it. But we're a slot place first and foremost, with tables right behind it. But 51% is almost like clockwork in taxes. And this is a pie chart showing the same thing. $246 million paid out here. Local share, both to Hempfield and Westmoreland County. State tourism tax, and so on. Property tax, horse racing, you guys know the recipients. Gaming revenues, 450 million, it's hard to say. As I mentioned, non-gaming, 75 million. So a total contribution of revenues for the property of 525. And then you take this portion, 50 goes to the state, 50 goes to us. I mean, it's a pretty good relationship, I think. Here's our spend for local minority women-owned businesses. So we're conscious of this, as I mentioned. It's 10 million the first year, 13 million, 11 million, a little over 11 million. So we've spent 45 million in these categories of, well, let me say this, 34 million is in local spend, of which 6.3 is maybe minority owned and women owned, 5.5 million. So a pretty good representation of what we're expected to do and what we're proud to do. And this just shows you we constantly want to reinvent ourselves and invest, like the poker room, like the high limit tables. So here's our expenditure by year. We spent 11.8 million over these years, and it's not like we've got this huge property. So $3 million is a big deal. $1 million of that is slot machines, probably the poker room, the table games room, and then here's how it's actually broken out. So same number, but now it's by slot machines, maintenance, keep the place running. It's an old building in some respect. The venue, we built the new venue a while back, table games, poker room, and restaurant. So $12 million over 4 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, is a pretty good reinvestment. The bigger properties have bigger projects, so not the same. One thing we're flirting with, and this is a county project, is we all believe there needs to be more hotel rooms in the city, in the state, in the area, I should say county. We think it should be right here because it said so in the CBR Evaluation and Advisory Services recommendation. We did a study that was sponsored by local businesses and so on. It came back and said there should be 200-room hotel built, there should be 15,000 square feet of meeting space, 50,000 of event space, there should be a restaurant, a bar, an indoor hotel, and it should be at the mall. So we say, well, nothing better than being the neighbor. So who knows where it'll end up or how it's going to finalize, how it's going to get funded, a lot of still questions. But this would be a magical improvement for the mall, for the property, and for the community. So the study has come out. It says it's feasible. Now you just got to put together the dots to make it make sense. So I think that was 20 minutes or so. Close. Any time, by the way? That's pretty, what is it?
47 minutes and
47.
8 seconds.
The first time I've been under 50 ever. That's great. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope it was informative, and we appreciate you guys being here and coming out to visit yesterday, a couple of you, and we truly do appreciate the relationship. We respect the regulators from all respects, whether it's LCB, PSP, because it's a partnership, and we can't fight each other, that's for sure. All right, I'll shut up.
I will turn to Office of Enforcement Counsel. Do you have questions for anyone from Live?
Always. Thank you, Director Lloyd. Good morning, Chair, Commissioners of the Board. My name is Michelle Fogle, Fogle, F-O-G-L-E, Assistant Enforcement Counsel with the Office of Enforcement Counsel. So I'm just going to refer to each slide for my questions. So for slide 13, the first floor layout.
Am I supposed to go to 13?
I know it's
I
far
can
back
get
there.
I will get there as fast as I can without blowing up the computer. What's on 13?
So it's the first floor layout. Does Live, at the present time, does Live Casino intend to reduce the number of slot machines or table games on the casino floor?
No.
And are there any slot machines presently on the casino floor that Live plans on replacing or switching out?
So every year, part of that capital budget discussion is we replace machines, right? When they've worn out their welcome. It might be the box, the machine itself, because, you okay?
Yes.
Because it just worn out and there's no replacement themes. So we invest about $1 million a year in new machines to make it fresh. And we also invest about $300,000 to $400,000 in conversions, which means the box is still good, but Halo 1's worn out, so you got to put in Halo 2, right? So we're always changing it in a favorable manner because they do lose their luster.
Thank you. And does Live have any plans to change the location or the square footage of the smoking area for patrons?
You know, if there's some variable questions here, right? Not right now. But there is a conversation that if we could expand and if it was warranted and if it made sense, that hotel would make a lot of sense to motivate us to do some things. Yeah, we would adjust. But for right now, this is locked in pretty well, and it's limited, but it is what it is. And I should say, and I said this last night, it's a tough one. I don't smoke. I don't like smoking, but smoking machines do 30% more revenue than non-smoking. So you can't, easily walk away from it. A political statement, I guess. I don't know.
And then I am going to make you go to slide 40 now.
Uh-oh. Dang it.
Yeah. It's about recruitment. Oh, I'm sorry, 41.
41.
Excuse me.
Oh, lost my paper.
And then I'll just be asking, how many days are team members required to work before they're eligible for the benefit program?
So it's not days per se, it's hours. And tell me, Michelle.
Okay, so it is, they're
Can you-
eligible to enroll.
Can you please
in
stand,
one-
can you
Oh,
please
sorry,
stand up?
So sorry.
Tell us who you are.
Michelle Rivetta, what's that? REVETTA.
And before you start, can we hear her for the audio, for the video?
You want to come up here?
We can see her where she is.
Can we hear her?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, go ahead, thank
Okay,
you.
I will talk loud.
Curveball, sorry.
So team members are eligible to enroll in benefits day 1 through 45, and they become effective the first of the month following 60 days.
Okay. 60. And are part-time team members eligible for benefits?
Yes.
Okay, and are part-time team members eligible for PTO?
Yes.
And this, you may only be able to answer this generally, but specifically, how does Live Casino ensure equal opportunity when it's seeking its vendors? So maybe not a question for you. More specifically, how does it actively seek out minority and women to provide opportunities to?
Say it.
Just number one, we have a pretty robust plan and protocol for seeking vendors. And of course, we go through a competitive bid process, which we would consider, number one, minority and women and local businesses are always under consideration. We will consider, like everything else, cost, the quality of the service and so forth. But if they're even within, if they're minority, women, or local, and even within 5% of the minimum bid, they were considered.
Okay. And can you approximate about the percentage of management positions that are filled with internal hires? You did mention that.
A whole bunch, I think we were talking 90% the other day. I mean, we are so committed to hiring from within, it's scary. But we're fortunate because they're good people.
And then you were talking about tuition reimbursement. What determines whether a team member is eligible? So is it only full-time?
So anybody's eligible, but to get reimbursed, right, you need to be in an area that's relevant to your position. And that's pretty wide. You need to be an accredited school. It's got to be legitimately documented as an institution of education. And then you have to get an A, B, or a C, at least. And if you do those 3 things, you'll get reimbursed.
Okay. And currently with recruitment, is Live facing any hiring, staffing, or retention challenges?
As I mentioned, 550 people, 20 openings. The answer is yes when it comes to cooks. We cannot find cooks and we can't keep them, but nobody else can in the world. And dishwashers. Dishwashers are challenging. And then third, we're always looking for a few extra security folks. Not the glorious positions, don't get tips, so they're challenging, and none of them are overpaid. So we scramble all the time. We have separate food and beverage hiring events. We have our own 30-day, community events. We get through, but yeah, those 3 areas are tough, but only 20 to 550. I mean, a lot of properties would be blessed with that.
Okay, and then you touched on unintended minors, always, looking for them. Do any team members receive more formal training?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's very familiar with it. Security, for sure, gets the formality. Surveillance gets the formality. We have gaming on property, as you know. It's really actually a challenge for us because we're in a mall, and people drop their kids off at the mall all the time. So we have surveillance looking into the mall. When we see an unattended minor, we got to pounce on them, go out there, talk to them, try to find their parents. Worst case is their parents dropped them off at the mall and came into the casino. Then we have to find them and so on. But everybody in the property is well conscious of minors and the challenge that we all have. Nobody would be unaware. The challenge is some are better at determining age, right? But we say anybody under 13, we're jumping on in a hurry. Anybody under 18, we're definitely making contact. But it's tough because people are driving at 16. They're pulling up to the parking lot, you know. But anyway, I'd say everybody's very well conscious of it, with security and surveillance being the real focal point.
Okay, thank you. And then slide 63 discusses the local minority and women-owned businesses.
Yep.
How many of those are double counted with the minority and women-owned businesses?
I heard somebody talking about that a minute ago. Michelle, do you know that one?
I have it here for that.
Oh, you better introduce yourself and spell yourself.
Hi, I'm Brian Blose, B-L-O-S-E. We have approximately 20 that are double counted in there, so not a significant amount.
And that would be 20 individual businesses?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. And then just last question, the hotel that is going through the feasibility study, would there be any age restrictions on who could stay there?
That's an interesting question. I would say no, because I'll tell you what, the location is next to the House of Sports, right? And baseball teams come from out of state, they have tournaments and everything else. I can't imagine there would be an age restriction. Now, the connection to the casino is a different ballgame, right? There'll be a wall. But no, I think you've got to be open to families and kids and so on. Yeah.
Thank you, that's all I have.
That was easy.
Mr. Deal, do you have any follow-up based on the questions that Ms. Fogel?
I do not.
Okay, then I will turn to the board members. All right, Dan. Mr. Dunbar.
Thank you. First off, let's not kid ourselves. I have biases. I'm a recovering legislator, and 5 years ago I stood out here with a mask on and cut the ribbon for the casino. So I do have biases, but make no mistake, those biases do not change that I will do my due diligence to as we go through this process of license renewal. A few of my questions got stepped on already, but that's okay. They're good questions. I will start by saying I don't call this Live Pittsburgh. I always have and always will call it Live Westmoreland. I'm sure Commissioner Weimer will agree with me on that it is a Westmoreland-based thing. So several of my questions deal with what's going on in Westmoreland County and how the casino fits into that. First off, I'm sure, Sean, your involvement, you know that the challenges faced in Westmoreland County have been our demographics. We are very aged and continue to age in Westmoreland County, and we viewed the casino as an opportunity to essentially get younger. So I'm curious, in your experience, you 45 years in the industry, and not only here at Live, but also prior to that at the Meadows. How do you view the casino as far as the demographics? Is it normally, the brick and mortar is normally an older clientele? Is Live Westmoreland that way as well, or?
So that's interesting, and slot machines are older clientele, especially midweek, right? And generally skew a little bit female. Table games are younger, male oriented. The second floor is a tremendous attraction to younger people. I mean, that Cowboy Bar and even the events we do up there do draw younger people, and that's part of our design. We don't want to become the old folks' home. We want to be always introducing new people to the product, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of that.
And that's something certainly Westmoreland County would like to see as well. As far as workforce development, the employees that you are getting, are they relocating to Westmoreland County? Are they already here, or?
Yeah, I think a lot of them are here, there's no doubt. And to be honest with you, the celebration is they're not leaving, because when I first came here, talking to Doug and other people in the county, the president of the chamber, there was leakage, right? People were graduating high school maybe and they're gone.
Yes.
So our objective with the job fairs and other things is to give them a reason to stay. But I think it's getting better. If Doug had a moment to speak, he would tell you how he's leading the charge on getting people into electricians, plumbers, other things, not just college, and to stay here in the county. We want to grow the population, and you're right, it has been suffering. It's getting older and it's getting less.
So I wanted the slide note that I can't remember which one, slide 62, which is revenue growth.
Yeah.
The casino revenue growth was relatively stagnant, nothing earth shattering.
Yep.
But the revenue growth for non-gaming was extremely high, 21% growth in the last year.
Yep.
And where is that at? Is that
So a lot of that sports and social upstairs.
okay?
A lot
Which
of
is also making it a younger environment.
It is a younger environment. There's no doubt about that.
But the additional capital we spent in the venue too, I think is bringing more groups.
When did the venue open?
Shoot, it opened in 20, right?
I want to say it's 22.
22. It's on another slide.
2022, I think.
22, yeah.
I'll see if I can find it. But the venue does give us that wide spectrum of folks. Bingo's an older crowd, weddings are younger crowds. I mean, it's actually a nice contributor at all different levels.
So,
Sean, can I add another comment to that too? In that growth as well, we do partner with FanDuel, which is we do receive a revenue share component to that, which is an online gaming aspect. So that's contributed to some of that growth as well.
so
To the non-gaming.
plans for the future to continue that growth, non-gaming growth.
Yeah, we take both challenges as aggressively as we can. We hope to keep the restaurant and entertainment experience alive and well. A lot of that's the PBR is pure cash business. I mean, it's really exciting that way. But yeah, we want to elevate them both.
And I will admit, I was here for the bull riding out in the parking lot.
Yep.
It's very entertaining. And as a sidebar, also very supportive of the concept of a hotel and convention center.
Yeah.
I think that would be wonderful for Westmoreland and continue the successful relationship that Westmoreland County has with Live. With that, Madam Chair, I am done.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Dermody?
Just one question. Why Cleveland?
I don't know. I think I was out that
Just
day.
kidding, just kidding.
I know.
Thank you, did a great job, I appreciate it.
I have no idea. I still think we should change it, but it's like next
Yeah, I'm
week.
with you.
Yeah.
Well, I have a couple of questions, but the first one is the Wing Fest. There's a note that there's a chicken coop for a VIP tent. Is
Yeah.
that live chickens? at
No.
the Wing
No,
Fest?
no, it's expression.
Matt, I don't remember what the chicken coop was. What was the chicken coop? You have to stand up, say your name, and spell it.
My name is Matthew Sharp, I'm the Food and Beverage Director, it's SCHROPP. That was the branded name of the beer garden, I believe.
Oh.
Yes, it was more of a play on words than fun.
Yeah.
No live chickens.
Good.
I was out that day too, when they came up with the chicken coop.
Good, because I think the live chickens would be very offended
I know.
having their brothers and sisters be eaten.
You were right.
And I think it's on page 37, you talk about diversity of the county versus diversity of your employees.
Yep.
And it's higher, but do you do any outreach to any areas outside of the county to recruit employees, I should say, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So it's interesting because part of the challenge is, transportation, a million different variables that affect how far they're going to be willing to come. But for example, we work closely with NAACP, we work closely with different organizations. We have a wide open door and we celebrate that. Our nonprofits, a lot of them have access to different ethnicities and racial makeups, and we hire them as fast as we can, and I gotta be honest, there's not a lot out there, so it's challenging. But we work in Jeanette a lot with some organizations. We have a close friend that owns the Educate Athletes First, and he works with kids in high school and college. And we tell him, anybody looking for a job, send them our way right away. So we're reaching, we're out there.
So do you actually reach out to other universities? Because these are kids or young people that could have a real
No
career.
question. We go to every job fair that we hear about. I mean, Michelle and her team are at university job fairs, whether it's St. Vincent's or Seton Hill, all of them. As I say, we believe in it, so we're looking for it. It's not like we're not resisting it. We think diversity of thought is instrumental, and our customers are diverse, right? So we want people that understand it. But
Well, you go into universities also will bring young people back in.
Yep.
Not just diverse people, but just young people.
That's right.
Which is one of
Yeah.
your goals. And the last question I have is regarding the minority and women-owned business spend. I think it's on page 63. Does that number include construction and professional services, or, and can you give me just a breakdown of that spend? Whether it's,
yeah. So we spent $100 million on the project for construction. I don't believe they're in this at all, the report for spend. Brian might know.
Yeah, they're
Not though.
Yeah, they're not included. No, they would be included in the, not in the construction, because that started before 2021. But for a breakdown, just these are approximate numbers.
you don't have, don't give me approximate numbers, you can give it to us after. I'd like specific numbers
Okay.
for the breakdown, and also the breakdown as far as the race, ethnicity, whether it's Latinos, African Americans, Native Americans, and women. If you can just break those numbers down.
We can give you some more detail on that for sure.
Yep.
Yep.
And
you.
Mr. Deal, if you just send that to the board clerk, we'll distribute it to all the board members.
I can certainly do that, thank you.
Perfect.
And I would thank you, Mr. Sullivan, for the tour yesterday, because a lot of questions that I would have had
Yeah.
were answered by you during the course of the tour. And the property is very impressive.
I'm glad. I left you each my card. Anything come up when you're driving back home or anything you think of, holler. It's my cell phone on there. I'm happy to answer
I
anything.
might still do that mechanical bull thing.
I know. We're going to get you up there sooner or later. We'll start out with line dancing and then up on the bowl.
Thank you.
And I think Mr. Dermott had another question.
Just one question. Is there any public transit to the mall?
There is. The local bus comes there at 3 different stops. One's right next to the casino. Not a lot of traffic, but it does help transport a few employees that, you know.
I was going to ask you about the employees. Is there any service still to Pittsburgh and back and forth to?
I'm not aware of bus transportation any to Pittsburgh, but the county is,
Right.
the county bus program is there 5 times a day,
All right.
6 times a day.
Thank you.
Yep.
Ms. Vogel, do you have any follow-up questions for anybody based on all the testimony we've heard?
No.
Mr. Deal?
No follow-up questions on the testimony. We'd only like to remind you that we have 3 witnesses that would come forth when you're ready for them.
Okay. Well then, let's take care of housekeeping and enter your PowerPoint into the record so we don't forget that.
Yes, I distributed beforehand to the clerk reporter, and we certainly mark it as exhibit number 1, and it will be the only physical exhibit we'll be submitting.
Okay, we'll mark it as live Pittsburgh Exhibit 1. Ms. Vogel, do you have any objection?
No.
We'll enter that into the record, and you can call whomever you'd like to come first, and we'll have one of the seats with the microphone.
Age or beauty? All right, Tom, come on up. Yeah. Tom Gerber. I think you have to spell it. Say
Yeah.
something.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name's Tom Gerber. I'm the Senior General Manager of Westmoreland Mall. One correction, I used to be the manager of Monroeville Mall. My company sold Monroeville Mall earlier this year, but I am now the manager of York Galleria and Yorktown Center in York, PA.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I picked up some properties in central PA, but I have some few comments on behalf of CBL and regarding the casino, complimenting a lot of what Sean has said. So since joining the Westmoreland Mall in late 2020, the Live Casino has been a valuable addition to our tenant mix. Live brings millions of customers to the complex, expands our trade area, and has a positive impact on existing mall retailers and restaurants. Mall sales have increased 10% in 2024 and are on the rise in 2025. Although we cannot specifically attribute all of this to the casino brings the traffic, which definitely helps. Live continues to be a strong partner to the mall and the community. We work with them to host events, as Sean mentioned, like car shows, food festivals, and other outdoor themed activity in our mall parking lot. Each event is well managed, heavily advertised, bringing more traffic to the property, giving our customers and visitors more local entertainment options. Operationally, Live Casino has maintained a good presence at the center with a clean, well-maintained, secure facility. They offer our customer a casual-themed sports restaurant, well-known diners, Sean mentioned, an event center that caters to numerous local organizations and activities. The Westmoreland Mall management team, myself and my other colleagues, enjoy a close working relationship with Sean and his team, and we look forward to continuing our partnership well into the future.
Thank you. Anybody have a question? We have a question over here.
One brief question. You had mentioned a 10% increase in revenues at Westmoreland Mall. How does that compare to other properties you have?
You know, it falls, it's on the higher end of normal for us. I mean, that fluctuates with 55 properties, so, but it's I would say in the top tier portion of our company as far as increases are concerned.
And one last question. Other properties that you would have maybe somewhere in the Commonwealth, would you be interested in having Cat 4s there as well? Is that something that you feel is a viable product for you in the future?
Yeah, we do have we have a Hollywood casino at the property I manage in York, Pennsylvania.
Thank you.
Ms. Vogel, do you have any questions?
No.
No questions. Okay. Thank you. I applaud that mall for being able to keep a Macy's and Penny's.
Sorry, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
No, come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Douglas Weimer. Last name is spelled Weimer. I am honored and proud to serve as chairman of the board of supervisors here in Hempfield Township, the largest municipality in Westmoreland County, and the host community for Live Casino Pittsburgh at the Westmoreland Mall. On behalf of my fellow supervisors, I welcome you to our lively community, which is a growing community. Since the opening in November of 2020, Live Casino has proven to be a focal point for our local economic revitalization. Beyond offering high-quality entertainment, dining, and leisure, it has become a key driver of economic growth in our township. The impact is especially clear when you look at the numbers. In just its second year of operation, the casino contributed nearly $1.2 million in local taxes directly to Hempfield Township, and in 2024, we received over $2 million in local share account funds. Money that really helped us purchase 2 brand new fire engines and invest in essential flood protection equipment. These are critical public safety upgrades that, quite frankly, wouldn't have been able to be possible without the additional support generated by the casino. Live Casino has also become a major employer in our area. It's created over 500 permanent jobs and provides nearly $22 million each year in employee compensation. But these aren't just hourly jobs, they're real careers in fields like hospitality, culinary arts, security, and operations. They offer stability, growth, and a future for our residents. helping to keep individuals and families grounded right here in Hempfield Township, Westmoreland County. Additionally, the casino has strengthened our small business economy. Since opening, it has spent over $15 million on goods and services from local vendors, including more than $3.5 million from minority and women-owned businesses, helping our regional businesses in our community recover and to grow. In total, Live Casino has generated over $8.6 million in gaming revenue to Hempfield Township since its opening. That revenue supports infrastructure, public services, and economic initiatives that benefit every corner of our community. But beyond the dollars and cents, Live Casino has truly become a gathering place for our community. It's a spot where people come together for concerts, celebrations, and shared experiences, things that not long ago would have meant a trip outside of our county to Pittsburgh or out of state. Its presence adds genuine value to everyday life here in Hempfield, bringing energy, connection, and convenience right to our doorstep. The presence of Live Casino has been positively transformative to the greater Hempfield Township community. To put it plainly, non-renewal of this license would be a step backward. Hempfield Township has not raised property taxes in over 35 years, in part due to innovative revenue sources such as those provided by this facility. If Live Casino were to close its doors, our community would face the loss of essential funding, hundreds of jobs, and the forward momentum we have worked so hard to build. No one should want to see the positive synergy created by Live Casino falter. On behalf of Hempfield Township's tens of thousands of residents we serve and the hundreds of thousands we host yearly, I respectfully urge the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board to renew the license for Live Casino Pittsburgh. Its continued operation is vital to the financial, economic, and social vitality of our community. I thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Do I have any questions from Ms. Vogel?
No.
No? Any commissioners?
No questions.
Thank you very much. I was thinking that. You've got a whole lot of people.
Then we have one last one.
Okay.
Hi.
Good morning.
I'm Misty Pollock, Pollock. I'm a bartender and a server at the Sports and Social upstairs. I started day one with the casino, so we've been through the COVID pandemic, you name it. We have the new event space. The casino nominated me for the PRLA Employee of the Month. I actually won it. They've given me every tool and opportunity in my job to make me succeed. What else?
I just want to mention that it's a statewide award.
Yeah.
So,
And the PRLA is a Pennsylvania Restaurant Lodging Association,
Yes.
and we're so proud of Misty. She won it at the state level, and the actual title was the Spirit, what was it?
Spirit of Hospitality.
Spirit of Hospitality amongst the whole state. So I mean, it's just amazing. And she wears it proudly every day, and she's, you know, when you're served by Misty, you're going to be in good shape.
I try my best.
And hard for them too to serve responsibly, because you know these people are trying to get more drinks, but they're professionals. They do it.
And then like touch base too about keeping jobs in like Westmoreland County. I for one was at the Rivers in Allegheny County, and I came to Westmoreland because it was closer to home. It was easier to get to, and it was more of a convenience, which is great for our county. You know what I mean? They bring in a lot of money. They treat us wonderfully between 401ks, benefits, bonuses. They acknowledge us and see that we do try. You know what I mean? And then if you have an opportunity, you can go help them and do community service, help put the flags out, do the food banks, Toys for Tots, all of the above. They make sure we get emails daily about anything that is happening in the casino.
Easy.
Anybody have any questions?
No questions, just thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
and that will conclude our presentation.
Okay. Then we will move to our Office of Enforcement Counsel for a presentation they might have.
Thank you, Director Lloyd. Prior to this hearing, the Office of Enforcement Counsel provided the board and Stadium Casino Westmoreland with documents marked as OEC Exhibits 1 through 9, which relate to the casino's Category 4 slot machine license renewal application. OEC and Stadium Casino Westmoreland agreed to a set of stipulations regarding the admissibility and authenticity of these exhibits, which are not before you today but remain accessible through an access link previously sent to you. The stipulations cover the following exhibits: the Pennsylvania State Police's Bureau of Gaming Enforcement report obtained from the National Incident-Based Reporting System, detailing criminal activity that occurred at the casino from 2021 to 2024, and this is marked as OEC Exhibit 1. On May 27, 2025, the Bureau of Liquor Control Enforcement issued a letter to OEC regarding 3 enforcement actions taken against the casino since receiving its license, and this is marked as OEC Exhibit 2. On May 8, 2025, the Board's Office of Compulsive and Problem Gambling issued a memorandum regarding Stadium Casino Westmoreland's compliance with its Casino Compulsive and Problem Gambling Plan. This is marked as OEC Exhibit 3. On May 12, 2025, the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue, Bureau of Compliance, provided a copy of Stadium Casino Westmoreland's Statement of Account, confirming that it is in good standing with the Department of Revenue, and this is marked as OEC Exhibit 4. Since the casino's license issuance, OEC and the licensee have entered into 4 board-approved consent agreements with civil penalties totaling $45,000, and together these are marked as OEC Exhibit 5. OEC and the licensee conducted 6 compliance conference memorandums since the license issuance, and these are marked as OEC Exhibit 6. OEC has issued 19 warning letters since the license issuance. In each instance where an answer was required, the licensee responded to OEC's letters, detailing the corrective measures taken to address OEC's concerns, and this is marked as OEC Exhibit 7. And OEC has issued Stadium Casino Westmoreland 2 demand letters since this license was issued. They properly addressed OEC concerns, and this is marked as OEC Exhibit 8. At this time, OEC respectfully requests that the aforementioned exhibits and the stipulations be entered into the record with Exhibits 4, 6, 7, and 8 marked as confidential.
Mr. Deal, do you have any objections to these documents entered into the record?
No objection. Michelle provided as well in advance. We had an opportunity to review them, and her recitation was spot on. So no objection. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll enter Exhibits 1 through 9 into the record. At this point, keeping 4, 6, 7, and 8 confidential.
And OEC will call 3 witnesses today to testify about Stadium Casino Westmoreland. The witnesses are from the Pennsylvania State Police, the Board's Bureau of Casino Compliance, and the Board's Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement. And then, with your permission, Director Lloyd, we'll call our first witness.
We'll now call Lieutenant Robert Kopchow. I'm David Dino Terrace, Assistant Enforcement Counsel from the Office. DENOTARIS.
Can you maybe pull your microphone? Yeah, there you go. And I believe you were sworn, correct?
I was, yes.
Could you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Lieutenant Robert Kopechal, C-O-P-E-C-H-A-L, with the Pennsylvania State Police.
And could you describe your career with the Pennsylvania State Police?
As of September of this year, I'll have 30 years on the job. I spent 11 years as a patrol trooper, 4 as a patrol unit supervisor, served as Academy firearms instructor for 2 cadet classes. I was a criminal investigation unit supervisor for 4 years. I was Patrol Section Sergeant Troop B Washington for 2 years. Then I served as a BGE, Bureau of Gaming Enforcement Office Commander at the Meadows for 4 years. And since March of 2020, I've been the Western Section Commander for the Bureau of Gaming Enforcement.
And could you please describe your job duties?
As a Western Section Commander, I have operational and administrative oversight over 4 casino offices in Erie, Pittsburgh, Washington, and Uniontown. Each of those are staffed by a sergeant, 2 corporals, and an additional 8 troopers. I also intermittently serve as a bureau director if he is away on vacation or performing other duties.
And what is the role of the Bureau of Gaming Enforcement at Live Pittsburgh?
So Live Pittsburgh, being a Category 4, Troop A Greensburg, has primary response for jurisdiction and enforcement at that facility, so we serve as a support role for the Troop A Greensburg Barracks.
Could you describe the relationship between the Bureau of Gaming Enforcement and Troop A Greensburg?
Between the two, the Bureau and the Troop, very good, very solid relationship.
Sure. And could you describe the working relationship between the Bureau of Gaming Enforcement and the Board's Bureau of Casino Compliance?
Speaking for the areas that I supervise, we have a very good relationship. We get along well. We support each other in our missions for any criminal enforcement and or regulatory concerns or issues.
And are you familiar with how arrest statistics are reported by the state police?
Yes, each year, at the end of each year, December, the office commanders are responsible for going through the NIBRS, the NIBRS, National Incident-Based Reporting System, compiling that data and categorizing it through the Part 1 and Part 2 offenses.
And I will now be referring to what's been marked as OEC Exhibit 1. Is the info contained in the report subject to a revision after it's submitted?
The only time that would be is if there was a late report submitted towards the end of the year that had to be modified, if there was an additional count added onto a report, an additional charge or something like that. But overall, that's a very, very minor instance.
And are criminal offenses listed in the report?
They are, yes.
And have you reviewed the arrest statistics?
I have.
And what's the last date arrest statistics are available for the reported offense?
Through the end of December of 2024.
And what is the most common criminal offense based on the info provided?
The most common that are listed on the report would be disorderly conducts and assaults.
And are these numbers consistent with what you've seen at other casinos?
Yes, generally that's the most casinos experience the similar type of behavior pattern.
Can you say how many thefts are reported in an average month?
Thefts are one of the lesser reported offenses. In 2021, there were 6 reported. In 2022, there were 9. In 2023, there were 6. And in 2024, there were 3.
And are there a significant number of violent crimes in Live Pittsburgh?
Well, so if you look at assaults being one of the top ones, they can range from anywhere from a simple harassment, pushing or shoving, to something more serious, but most of them are categorized as harassments. However, they are on the downtrend, with numbers decreasing yearly throughout 21 through 24.
And are there a significant number of crimes involving individuals under 21?
No, we had 2 minor reported incidents in 2021 and 0 for the years 22, 23, and 24.
Has there been any noticeable increase of any crime between 2021 and the present?
No, most of the stats that I reviewed are trending in the downward direction.
Do you see a pattern in the type of offenses that have occurred at Live Pittsburgh in general?
Nothing that leaps off the page, no.
Has there been any deviation from any trends or types of arrests?
No, not that I can tell from the data that I reviewed. No.
Is the state police satisfied with the cooperation of Live Pittsburgh employees?
In speaking to the commanders of Troop A Greensburg, it seems that they have a good relationship with the security staff there at Live.
And based on the information in Exhibit 1, are there any issues or concerns which, in your opinion, would negatively impact Live Pittsburgh's suitability for continued licensure?
Based on the information I reviewed to prepare for today, no, there are not.
All right, thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Deal, do you have any questions?
Only to thank the lieutenant and his team at Troop Greensburg for your service. It's very, very much appreciated. Nothing further.
And commissioners, do you have any questions?
No questions.
No. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Okay, thank you.
OEC will call our next witness, Brandon Beaver from the Bureau of Casino Compliance. Morning. Can you please state and spell your first and last name?
Brandon Beaver, B-E-A-V-E-R.
Okay, and with whom are you currently employed?
Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board.
And what is your present job title?
I am the Casino Compliance Supervisor stationed at Live Pittsburgh.
And can you please describe your employment history with our agency?
Sure. I was hired as a Casino Compliance Representative in June of 2013. In December of 2015, I was promoted to Casino Compliance Supervisor at Lady Luck. And then in 2020, I transferred to Live Casino Pittsburgh when they opened.
And can you please describe the main duties and responsibilities of a casino compliance supervisor?
Sure. I mainly ensure the casino is following the state regulations and their approved internal controls, If they violate, we document it and send it up to OEC.
Okay. And the role of the Bureau of Casino Compliance, what role do they play in the Category 4 facility licensee?
Making sure the casinos follow the state regulations and their internal controls, and handle patron complaints, make sure there's the casino isn't allowing self-excluded individuals or anyone on the exclusion list to gamble, things like that.
And what's your team's scope of access as it applies to the casino's facilities?
We have unfettered access. We can go anywhere they can go.
Have you ever been prevented from accessing any areas of the casino?
No.
Can you please describe the relationship between yourself and the Live Casino Pittsburgh staff?
It's a very good relationship, a respectful relationship.
Okay. Does the staff provide timely notification to your team when compliance issues arise?
Yes, they are pretty good at notifying us.
Okay. And during compliance investigations, is the staff cooperative with your review?
Yes.
And as a casino compliance supervisor, are you familiar with the regulatory issues that occur at Live Pittsburgh?
Yes. Yes.
And what are the most common issues facing Live Pittsburgh?
The one issue they had ongoing for a little while was they had issues with updating their players card system and removing self-exclusion removals, and then also adding the new self-exclusions. However, last time we did an audit, they have cleaned it up and they have figured out how to do that correctly.
Is the casino active in addressing not just this issue, but other compliance issues to prevent similar incidents from occurring again?
Yes, yeah, they're pretty active on their response to incidents.
And then in what ways does the Bureau of Casino Compliance interact with patrons of the casino?
Myself and the casino compliance representatives do walk the gaming floor, so we do interact with patrons on the floor. Or if there is a patron complaint, we will take care of the patron complaint against the casino.
And can you describe the relationship between casino compliance and the Pennsylvania State Police, both the Bureau of Gaming and True Bay?
Yeah, the Bureau of Gaming is not at the Cat 4s, so we don't really see them. There's one special investigator that occasionally comes by, and I do work with him for certain things and provide him with what he needs. As far as True Bay, we don't have much contact with them, but I've never had an issue with them.
Okay. And in your opinion, are there any concerns or issues that exist that would negatively impact Live Casino Pittsburgh's suitability for continued licensure?
No, I feel the property works very well with us, and yeah, they handle what they have to handle.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Deal, do you have any questions?
Just briefly, it's no secret that Pennsylvania has a very robust regulatory environment, and I just want to comment that Brandon's team has always been fair and very knowledgeable, and we appreciate that relationship. Thank you.
Any questions from the commissioners? No questions. No? Thank you.
And lastly, OEC will call Olivia Mala from the Bureau of Investigations and Enforcement. Good afternoon. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, my name's Olivia Mala. That's cases and interview applicants, which could be businesses or people, to help determine suitability for a gaming license. I use different databases like JNet, Accurate, Pacer, TrueView to review criminal, financial, and legal history of different companies or individuals seeking a gaming license. Once my research is complete, I have an interview with the applicant, and I review the application and ask a series of questions and then compile a report that is reviewed through a chain of command up through the Office of Enforcement Counsel.
And did you perform the investigation into Live Casino Pittsburgh's application to renew its Category 4 facility license?
No, I did not.
Okay, so how did you come about Live Casino's report of investigation for its renewal hearing?
So while I'm not the investigator, I reviewed the ROI, and I'm the assigned agent for Live Pittsburgh. I visit monthly ROI, and I'm the assigned agent for Live Pittsburgh. I visit monthly, have a great working relationship with upper management and CCRs at the property, and am knowledgeable about the history and current status of Live. As the assigned agent, I'm responsible for reviewing and being aware of the background of the company as well as the licensed individuals. I'm constantly updated on the happenings of Live, and I'm capable of discussing what's in the report.
When did the investigation into Live's renewal application begin?
November 4th, 2024.
And can you please provide a summary of the investigation scope?
Yes. The investigation includes a thorough review of the business background, including ownership structure and history, as well as information on the affiliated entities of the company. There's also a detailed outline of the interview with the reporting investigator and Live's VP of Legal. The report includes a breakdown of the gaming floor, including how many slot machines and table games there are, as well as employee information such as principal employees, shareholders, and number of total employees. The investigation also outlines information on the property, including leasing information and physical statistics. The report also includes vendor contract information, litigation history, as well as a review of any non-gaming licenses and permits. There's also a detailed explanation of the contacts to the non-gaming organizations that Live is associated with, and any violations pertaining to those licenses or permits are listed as well. The investigation also included a review of enforcement actions and violations with detailed synopses of the investigations into those. The report also outlined any criminal history as well as results of the completed database searches.
And is the Bureau of Investigations and Enforcement's investigation into Live Pittsburgh's renewal application complete?
Yes.
And based on the investigation, are there any areas of interest relating to the casino's renewal application?
No.
And is there anything that the Bureau of Investigations and Enforcement's discovered that would negatively impact Live's suitability for continued licensure?
No.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Okay. Mr. Deal, do you have any questions?
Only point that Olivier is part of a larger team at BIE that goes through these applications, as you're aware, are hundreds and hundreds of pages. And I'm impressed and appreciate the work that they go through with spending like time with people like me on the telephone to understand in a intricate detail each, not only the entities that are involved, which are frankly confusing to me at times, but they sit through them and go through them page by page and ask a lot of questions. And it's a lengthy process. And I just want to know that we appreciate that. It's thorough, and to hear indicate that it's positive is a satisfying result of a very long process. So thank you.
Questions from commissioners?
No questions.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
And then Ms. Mela's testimony concludes OEC's presentation. We don't have anything further.
Okay. As I stated before, we did not have any registered public speakers, and again, I'll ask, is there anyone here that thought they were here to speak and I have not called your name? Seeing no hands, we'll move on. Mr. Deal, do you have any closing statement?
Well, I can't imagine covering anything that Sean hasn't already covered thoroughly. So the only thing I'm going to say is that we greatly appreciate the opportunity to discuss with you a team and a project that we are very proud of. And we thank you for your questions and thank you for your consideration.
And Ms. Fogel, any closing statement at this time?
No, we have nothing, but we just thank you for your time and attention.
Okay. The record will remain open until the board hears the license renewal matter at a later public board meeting. Based on today's testimony and evidence, I'll prepare a report that will be sent with the board along with the transcript of the hearing and all of the documents that were entered into the record today. Those will be supplied to all board members before they consider this at their future board meeting. And I want to thank the staff here at Hempfield Township for helping to arrange the hearing today and for technical support and whatnot today. Thank you very much. And that is the end of the hearing. Thank you. Hearing's adjourned.
Thank you.